Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading. Today is May the 23rd, 2021. Today I'm going to be looking at SPX, the S&P 500, where we left off on Friday and what my targets are going into next week. I'm also going to be looking at five names. One is TGT, which is at all-time highs, a blue sky breakout in the making. Another one is Nvda. We have earnings on Wednesday, and there was a stock split about to happen. Another one is AMD. We did have a strong push higher. We're retesting higher levels at the $80 mark. Tesla, continued weakness with regards to Bitcoin. We're going to look at to see if there's a bounce underway. And we're also going to be looking at Coin, which is one of the newest IPOs and the hottest IPOs to hit the market this year. We have been trending lower on that, so we will be looking at that as well. Just basically five names on the docket today. Not much, as the market was very stagnant last week. As you guys can see here, we do have the SPX chart pulled up, and we did leave last Friday just around that 4170 mark. As you guys can see here, we did trend sideways for a bit, then finally dropped down to support, which was that 4070 mark. We are on the 30-minute chart. Again, we just closed again Friday right at that 4070 mark. So if you guys, missed a week and got back into it, you're pretty much exactly where you left off. So not much happened. We are trending sideways, and we are stuck into this channel that basically starts from 4180 down to, let's just say, 4112. So next week I am going to be looking at that 4200 psychological. To me, it's the key. But first of all, I mean, you got to get past this hurdle right here at 4180. I'm going to be looking at convincing volume to break over that. Hopefully market conditions and economic indicators help us get past that level. So 4200 is a level for me. Above that, of course, we have 4210, 4220, and 4230 respectively to the upside. To the downside, we do have 4150 support. So I'm going to be looking at as that first indicator. If that was to break, we have 4130. At 4130, I would look down for short positions for targets at 4112 and 4100 psychological. So that's basically my overview on SPX. Again, we're on a tight channel, and it's basically a no trade zone until those levels get broken. But before, guys, I get into the watch list, please give this video a thumbs up. Like it, share it with your friends, get the word around. A lot of new things happening with our Discord group. We just added a new watch list. Basically, it's geared toward IPOs. We have 10 names on that list right now. I also did release a post on Instagram highlighting my top five. If you guys want access to those charts, and if you guys want the daily levels and entries and exits, do head over to thewealthymentor.net and join our Discord group. A lot of great things for you guys there. Even if you're a novice trader or a pro, it's good to get those charts. You understand those charts and where those key levels are and where you should enter and where you should exit. All right, guys, thank you for that. So with our first name that I'm going to be looking at heading into next week is TGT, Target. So Target is one of the names that did push higher last week, did have a pretty bullish week. So we are here at all-time highs, 227. This is the 30-minute chart. And pretty much, I'm looking for a breakout above that 227 level. I have targets at 230 and 232 as my target take one profit and target take two. If we do get past those, definitely look for 235 and 240 as your next levels. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on Target. As you guys can see here, I'm going to switch over to the 4-hour chart. We are in an uptrend, and as they say, the trend is your friend until it's broken. So I am looking above that 227 for support. I am looking at 222 as short-term support. If that were to break, 220 would be my first target. We did have a bit of a consolidation here on the bull flag before the breakout. So definitely look below 222 as your first indicator, and 220 is your first target. And furthermore, if that were to break, we do have some support here at that 215 mark. So look for target and a push above 227. And if we do see weakness, look at that 220 mark for shorting opportunities. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on target, so keep that in mind heading into next week. Another name which has earnings on Wednesday, and if you guys missed it, they did release that they will be doing a stock split. Usually stock splits, stocks tend to move sideways. However, with recent stock splits such as Apple and Tesla, you did see bullish momentum, bullish movement going into that stock split and even afterwards. So it's definitely a name that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. Ticker is NVDA. Here is the 4-hour chart. And you guys can see here, we did have a nice bullish week. We bounced twice off that 543 mark, once over here, creating a double bottom, right? This looks like a reverse head and shoulders pattern. And we do have resistance at that 610 mark. We did also have resistance at that 610 mark back here on April the 29th. So going into tomorrow, I am looking at 610, a break of that. 620, 630 are my take profit targets. 640 if we're really bullish. Overall, definitely look over that 610 mark because we did have some consolidation here. If you want to be safe, look over 620 for entries, for 630 and 640 take profit. To the downside, if we do see weakness, 600 is psychological support. If that were to break, that would be my first indicator. Below 590, I would begin my short positions down to 578, which would be my take profit area, my number one take profit. And number two take profit, if we do see continued weakness, would be that 565 mark. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on Nvidia. We do have a chip shortage with regards to the semis. So, it's very hard to tell what earnings will say. However, Nvidia is one of those really strong names. I'm going to switch over here to the daily, and as you guys can see here, we did have pretty much a long time consolidating from that $600 area down to that $510 area, and here we are, back near all-time highs. So if we do have an earnings beat, I am looking at all-time highs. Definitely look for a push up to all-time highs. I don't know if it will open up there if we do have a beat, but it definitely looks bullish to me. And the chart, based on previous stock splits, like I mentioned with Tesla and Apple, they did push higher. It's just the market reacting to it. A lot of people think that a stock split would be an easier access to gain, exposure to the stock because it's half the price. It was a 4-to-1 split. So definitely Nvidia is going to be a buy. So look for that heading into next week. All right. Another name that did see a small push, it was AMD, again, part of the semis. And I am going to switch over here to the 4-hour chart to give you guys an outlook. And as you guys can see here, we did bottom out at that $72 area. And here we are pushing back up to that 78.5. So going into Monday, I am looking at a break above 78.50. 78.50, my target number one would be 80. If you are a conservative trader and don't want to get up into this chop, definitely look over $80 for a break. For $82 for take one profit, and take two would be that 83.50 mark. I'm going to be keeping an eye on AMD, especially with Nvidia reporting earnings. These type of stocks tend to correlate to each other, so definitely look to see if Nvidia pushes higher. Look for AMD to correlate with that and also break above the $80 mark. Now, if we do see market weakness, we do have support at that $76 area. If that were to break, we do have next support at 75, 73.5, and again at 72, which we did build some strong support here from May the 11th onwards to the 19th of May. Big candlestick here, volume confirming a push up. So look for AMD heading into next week. Another name that's always in the news, as you guys know, TSLA, Tesla. Here is Tesla on the 4-hour time frame. A lot of bearish news with Tesla recently, especially with its correlation to Bitcoin and Elon Musk selling some of his position. So this week is another important week for Tesla. The first thing that I'm going to be looking at is a break above that $600 mark. We did get a rejection right here on the 21st of May. Over here, we do see long wicks representing buyer rejection. Once more here, can't break it on the 14th of May. And again, two big candlestick wicks right here, basically showing that buyers are being pushed down at that $600 mark. So the bears are in control at the moment. So what I'm looking for next week is a break above 600. If 600 were to break, my entry would be above the 608 mark for take profits at 620 and 630 respectively. Now, to the downside, if we do continue our bear trend, 570 would be my first thing that I'm going to be looking at. If 570 were to break, I have shorting positions set at 560 and 550. I would look to close my shorting positions pretty quickly. Anytime when you're shorting, you're not going to always get the perfect target, and you just got to be a little quicker to take your profits, especially with shorting names like Tesla. That's just my experience. Okay, so 560, 550, and 540 are areas that I'm looking at to the downside. If 540 were to break, guys, I'm definitely looking at that 500 psychological, especially with Bitcoin being, dropping down. I would say 60% from its $65,000 mark, and we're currently trending around that $33,000 mark. So keep your eyes on Tesla and Bitcoin. Okay. Last name I'm going to be looking at, one of the hottest IPOs. They debuted pushing pretty much all over 420, 430, around that area. As you guys can see here, 430 push, and this is basically the whole chart. We did have 430 all-time highs, and we've been trending lower. I am going to switch over here to the 1-hour chart. And as you guys can see here, we are in a staircase pattern down, right? And coin is currently in price discovery, right? So support and resistance zones haven't been built to the downside, but I do have key areas that I'm going to be looking at heading into next week that have uh, definitely have potential to get hit. And I'm starting over at that 220, 219 mark. If 219 were to break, I am looking at continued shorting positions, right? Down to that 208 mark, which is all-time lows on coin. So 219 a break, profit number one is 208, and I also have profit number two at 200. As I mentioned, this isn't under price discovery. However, stocks do tend to move in round numbers, and also psychological numbers, big round numbers like 200. Look for a bounce at that $200 area if we do see weakness below 219. Now, if we do see some strength in Bitcoin and all of a sudden we do get a big bounce, and there's a catalyst or an analyst upgrade, or the markets just start pushing higher, making all-time highs, an area that I'm going to be looking at is that 239 mark. As you guys can see here, we have been rejected at that 239 mark multiple times on that 1-hour time frame. So above 239, I have 250 as take profit number one, 260 as take profit number two. And guys, if we do see market conditions, this thing can definitely push back up to the $300 mark, which we did have a hard time breaking, and we did consolidate there for quite a bit before finally dropping down lower to these levels right now. All right, guys, those are 5 names I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. Definitely look into TGT target, blue sky breakout, look over that 227 mark, Nvda stock split, a lot of hype around that, guys. Keep your eyes on that, and earnings are on Wednesday after hours. AMD, look for correlations with Nvidia. Tesla, you know why? Bitcoin, Elon Musk, he's always in the news. So look for volatility to the upside and to the downside. And coin, one of the hottest IPOs, again, correlated to Tesla and Bitcoin. Look for those levels below that 219 mark and the 200 psychological for great entries. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this week's Sunday stream. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your buddies. Also, log on to thewealthymentor.net and check out our Discord group. Awesome information and a great bunch of people over there. All right, thank you so much. See you guys next week. Bye.